So I've been meaning to make this video for a while now because it's something that I am very passionate about, which is journaling. And to give you a bit of backstory, I've been journaling since 2009, and this is when I was still in high school and going through the teenage emotions, and it gave me a chance to process them and to also get to know myself, the things that I like, the music that I listen to, the TV shows that I'm into, the sports, the boys even I was into. So it gave me this space to let things out. And even in my job, it's also something that I do a program with. And I work with people that are in recovery, so they're very vulnerable, especially to their emotions when they're coming off of addictions and unable to process them and probably not even sure to talk about it. So journaling allows you the space to talk about what's going on inside. And as I learned to get more serious in my walk with God, this also gave me a space to share my revelations that God was teaching me, to help me build understanding of what I was reading in the Word, to get to the deep-rooted issues of the things that I need to work on, my prayers, my aspirations, and memorizing even Bible verses and things about Him, and to use it as a guide in my walk. So, yeah. There's my introduction. Stick around. And I've heard this many times that journaling can get overwhelming because they don't know where to start. And I'm going to tell you where to start. Something easy is, what kind of journal do I like? And I have a preference. So I have learned over time that I like a spiral neck because I like to flip it over, because I like to take my journal place to place. And I take it with me in case I get some inspiration or I just need to let something out. So I like to write on both sides and maximize my work. And it should be something you pour into. It also should be something that appeals to you. And this is the thing that you do pour into. So just allow yourself to find something you like and something that works for you, something that meets your personality. And this allows me to express my creativity. So I have some verses on here, and I have the whole chapter of Psalms 23 because that speaks to me. So another overwhelming thought that we're going to combat right now is that the misconception that you need to write every single day. And that's just not true. This should be a time where when life starts to get overwhelming, when your thoughts kind of get a bit too much, or something weighs heavy in your heart, or when I just want to express a good memory. This should be a time where you want to pour it out, where it gets a bit too much inside. And someone said this, and it just stuck with me, why you would write it down versus on a device like a cell phone or even a laptop, that through your hand has a vein that's straight to your heart. So whenever you release something, it's literally like a physical experience to just pour into here. And another overwhelming thought that we're going to combat today is, I don't know how to start. So I'm going to challenge you into just write down what's in your mind. This kind of just forces you to focus on one thought at a time and trying to navigate what exactly you want to say. And to bring in the word of God, it says, out of the mouth the heart speaks. So just let your heart out. And that way you can process things a lot more clearer, where it's not all chaotic in your mind. And another word of God, it says, hold every thought into captivity. So this allows you to do that. So there are plenty of different types of journals. There are dream journals, something that you dreamed in the night, prayer journals, fitness journals, journals that keep track of your diet, keep track of your finances, keep track of your goals, your short-term goals and your long-term goals. A daily journal where you just kind of let out what you do in the day. A memory journal, a journal where you just kind of want to have those memories. You keep those plane tickets, those train tickets, or the amusement park or movie tickets, and you could just put it in there. I have all of those all in one where I just like let it out and express it. It keeps me accountable of everything in my life. And keep in mind, there are times, even with me, where I just take a break from the journal, where it's not a demanding thing. This keeps track of your growth. This keeps track of your life and builds accountability and makes it more real. Everybody that says that once you write it down, you're more likely to remember it, and that's so true. So I would like you to think of this as an experience to build you, to magnify your life, and to let it out. And I also want to talk about, there's different styles of journals out there. So there's also the plain journal where you're just kind of like writing things down. You don't really add much into it, and you just kind of like just express yourself. And there's another form of expression where you just make it creative. You add drawings on it, you add stickers on it, or you add pieces of paper just to make it more you. And I want to talk a bit about both of those ways because I thrive on either. So I'm going to talk about some materials you can use, and I have a bunch of them. Keep in mind, like I said, that I have programming for this, so this is for my program, so it's not all mine. I have things to show you that are just papers that you can kind of cut out and add on your page, and there's a whole bunch of them, and you can even add these tabs so that you can tab your pages on things that you want to remember. And then we have these post-it notes that say don't forget, a weekly plan, even to make your checklists. I'm a huge checklist person because I need to keep track of my thoughts. And then I have I am a child of God stickers. So there's stickers for your spiritual walk, and then you have the travel stickers. And then you also have stickers to even write your lettering. And this kind of just makes the whole experience a lot more funner. And I even have these kind of stickers to add on, just of people, some brands. And I also have even this lace, so you can kind of add that a part of the page. And this is arguably my favorite part of journaling because it kind of fills up the whole page. And all of these are washi tape. And I love washi tape. Whether it's the thick one to fill the half the page and then I kind of just add my notes to it, or it's the small thin ones. And I kind of use the color-coded ones, so I kind of put two together. Or even just one that has a pattern and ones that's a solid with it. Or whatever the season, and I love this one. It has some trees on it. And also, I really do love this glitter. So I kind of just mix and match with it. I also bought these little stickers, and it comes with a bunch of them. And if you open these, keep in mind you can find these on Shein, and they're not even that much. They're like $5 for a bunch of these tickets, or it's just like $4 for like 5 washer tapes. And then you have a bunch of these little stickers, and they have a whole box of them. This is like my favorite part. So I kind of just express my creativity. And I have these photo albums or whatever post-it note thingies, and I have a bunch of stickers all divided in these little areas. So I have even these little sayings, so you can add your quotes, or you can add even these stickers. Yeah, it's just to make this a fun experience and to just make your journal yours. Plus I also have a stamp, so I just stamp like with whatever word or all these different kind of what would you call it? Like that's an old Instagram thing you can stamp on your journal. And yeah, so just express yourself and make your journal fun. Make it a process you enjoy, and it's just very close to scrapbooking. You can even print out photos and just put them on there and say, this is where I was, this is who was there, this was the best experience of my life, this was the worst experience of my life. So another thing I want you to consider is the type of pen. I love the Sharpie kind of pens, and this just allows me to write, and I just love how it glides, and yeah, this is my favorite kind of pen. So another thing to consider when you're adding things for your journal is some glue, whiteout, because you will make mistakes, especially when you're like, oh, not that word. And some tape, and also some double-sided tape. And these are for the little papers to add on, or whatever tickets you want to save. So I love this kind of look, and I really do love the rip look. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tear this page like that, and I'm going to glue it on one side, one corner of the page. And I'm just doing the outer edges of it. Then I will add it onto the corner of my page, just like that. And then I'm gonna do the other side. And I just got this from an old book, so you can keep the leftovers for something else. And I'm gonna add it to the other corner, like so. So that's a start. Then I'm gonna grab some washer tape, and I like this one. I think this one has an old type of writing. I think that suits the page best. So what I'll do is I'll probably add something to the side of the page. And just rip it off. Simple, right? And then let's try and add another one. Let's see. Something like that. Something that goes on theme, and that kind of color suits what I want. So I will add that to, like, see what works at the bottom right here. There. Now I'm gonna add some stickers. So let's add a girl. I think I'll add on that one. Patience. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna add it right here in the bottom corner. And then using a calligraphy pen, the thick one right here, I'm just going to go ahead and write the date. And today is June 8th. So I'm going to write it very calligraphy style. So on the corner, June 8th. Like that. And then I would just go on and do the next page. It usually takes me about a year to finish a journal because I don't force myself to write. I write whenever I feel it in my spirit to write, whenever I want to pour something out. Not necessarily for memory purposes, but to just let out my heart and what's going on. So especially if I'm going through something, I'm more likely to write. Or when life is really, really good, I'll write. Whenever I get a revelation from God, I'll write. Whenever I get a revelation from reading the Word, I'll write. So, and it's usually like a big sitting. And whenever life is good, I'll live my life and I won't be so focused on it like I have to write today. I mean, sometimes I will have those moments in my life where I'm writing every single day. And then there are times where it would be like a month in between. And then I'll write every single day. So it's a process of just where I'm at in life, and it's not supposed to be a forced thing. It's supposed to be for you and your growth as a person. This is a tool. This is a device for you to pour into. And it's also good to look back on the things that you have wrote in the previous times just to see how far you've come along just as a person. So, like I said, especially those people that are recovering from addictions, they're just getting their thoughts back, their feelings back, and they don't know where to put it. So this is a good place to start, especially when you're walking in the Lord even and you don't know where to begin. You just track your progress and write down the things that inspire you, the things that speak to you, even advice from someone that you don't want to forget it, and also things that that just move you in life. So the biggest thing that I want you to take away is I don't want anybody to hold back of whatever that you need to say. And even before you go and talk to somebody, write a letter to them so you can navigate what exactly you want to say. Or with whatever is truly going on in your heart, let it out, and even share your secrets just to put it somewhere. Or if you are concerned about like anybody looking at it, this is your responsibility. So keep it private. Even if you're living in a place where you're living with somebody, keep it in a secret place. This is your secret dwelling place. And even the things that you pray for or things that were prophesied on your life, like that's a very personal experience, but you have to have a place to navigate it, and we don't always have access to people to talk about it with. So this allows you to process it. Even when you do have a place to talk about it, you'll know and be very self-aware of where you are at. And also to consider the fact that your feelings are valid. Your life story is valid. You are important. You should have a place that highlights wherever you're at in your life, and that is important. And this allows you to take care of yourself and to be self-aware of even where you need to go from here. So don't hold back. Take care of yourself. This is also, I would say, not only is it an act of art, but it's an act of self-care. Another tip is to find out the things that you enjoy, to be comfortable to let it out. So to give you a bit of context, is to find out what helps you allow to express yourself. Maybe that's in a coffee shop, maybe that's in nature, maybe it's playing your favorite album, maybe it's in your PJs. That's exactly why I am dressed the way that I do. You should be comfortable during this, because even this process may not be the most comfortable for you, or maybe it might be the best experience of your life. Who's to say? But I just want to encourage you that this should be a time for you, whatever floats your boat. There's two things that I want to explain before I close off this video. One of them is CBT. The other one is looking at yourself in 4 quadrants. So CBT is cognitive behavioral theory, which means your thoughts affect your feelings, and your feelings affect your behavior, meaning whatever you think influences your feelings, and your feelings influence however you're going to react to whatever given situation. And it's also biblical. It says, "So a man thinketh, so is he." And also, our heart can be deceived, meaning we should be keeping on guard and on watch of these things, because it will affect how we behave, thus affecting the whole world around us. So if we catch these things with this, through God, through prayer, even this, then it affects how we react in this life. And I also would like to say that it's so important to examine yourself. So you can do this through your mental state, your physical state, your spiritual state, and your emotional state. So you look at yourself in 4 different ways. And I have done this as well. Where am I mentally? Maybe I'm a bit more weaker today. Maybe my spirit is uplifted today, but my mind is a bit more crazy. So, or even I'm feeling tired today. So it's good to keep on track of these things, just so you can see the outcomes of life and keep track of them. When I'm tired, I'm more likely to do this. Or when I'm upset, I'm more likely to do this. So it gets you on track and self-aware of just where you're at in life. And yeah, these are things, just tips for you to think about on how you can examine yourself, because it's so important for us to be self-aware and also to look at life and how you affect it. And there you have it. That concludes my video on journaling. I really enjoyed making this video. Like I said, I am very passionate about journaling and everything that is done in my life so far. I would recommend it to anybody. And also, especially if you're on a journey of healing, this is a great place to start. And yeah, please leave a comment of other ideas on how journaling has helped you, what you can do, and also other tips that you can have. And also any questions, if anybody is into that. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. And please stay tuned for some more videos that I may have on this channel. Yeah, I love you, and thank you again. God bless you.